Hi, welcome to Midlife Mindfulness with Melissa. I'm Melissa and I'm so happy to have you with me today. I live in Canada and it's the time of year, it's fall, where, the weather's really changing, and in the morning it's cold, midday it's pretty warm, end of day it's freezing cold, and everyone around you is sick. Plus this past week I've been on a business trip and I have a business trip away next week. So I'm surrounded by cooties and the environment is right to get sick. And so far so good. Staying healthy, but trying to do my best to get lots of rest and get some good exercise in, eat well, treat myself well. Perhaps you know the routine too, and I certainly hope that you're taking good care of yourself as well. I thought it would be a lovely opportunity to do a comforting, restorative-inspired yoga session. So this is going to be very gentle. You can see I'm dressed in my comfies today. I don't normally wear elephant pants, but I'm wearing them today because they're comfortable, and my hoodie because I want to feel nice and snuzzly and comforted today. So dress in your comfies, grab a couple pillows and a blanket, and come join me. Let's get to it. We're going to start today in a reclined butterfly pose. And I've got the pillow, oh yeah, that's great, supporting my head, and one under my feet and legs. This is great. Yoga with pillows. Does it get any better than this? And we're going to take a moment to settle into our body. Focusing on our breathing as a means of calming and caring for ourselves. And I'll invite you to close your eyes and feel the breath wherever it's most noticeable for you. You might feel it with your hand, with your belly moving up and down. You may feel it with your movement of your chest. You may feel it as your shoulders go up and down. Or you might feel it in your nostrils. Just focusing on breath. In and out. Relaxing into the moment. And now rolling over to one side and pushing yourself up to an easy seat. You can be in an easy seat, you can be in a half lotus, whatever you would enjoy being in today. And let's start with a seated cat-cow. We'll arch the back outward, scooping in the belly, relaxing the head down, and then leaning back, doing a bit of a back bend, bringing your shoulders down and back, and scooping forward into seated cat, rounding the spine, bringing the shoulders forward, and seated cow, arching the spine, shoulder blades down and back, and one more. Scooping the belly in, rounding the spine, arching forward, and seated cow, belly forward, shoulder blades back, chest nice and open, heart nice and open. And then back to neutral. I'm going to move my pillows a little bit away, and I'm actually going to cross my legs in the different direction. It's always good to switch it up so that you're not focusing too much on one side of the body and not on the other. So now we're going to focus on rooting into the earth, elongating the spine, crown to the sky. And let's turn towards the right. Right hand behind us. Left hand on the right thigh. And we're going in for a nice gentle twist, looking over the right shoulder if that feels good. And when you breathe in, you elongate the spine towards the sky. And exhale and gently twist, bringing the shoulder to the right, gazing gently over the right shoulder. And one more time, inhale and lengthen. Exhale and twist. And gently come back to center, neutralizing the spine, crown to the sky. Let's do the same on the other side. Left hand behind, firmly planted, right hand on the top of the left thigh. And gently bringing your left shoulder back. Gaze over the left shoulder. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Crown to the sky, exhale and twist. Breathe out. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And back to center. Focusing on rooting into the ground, the sitting bones, elongating the spine. Shoulders down and away from your ears. Very good. And now, let's move into the child's pose. And we're going to do that by putting our toes together, knees about the mat's width apart. I'm going to take my pillow and bring it in and rest my head on the pillow. If you want, you can also, actually you could try putting it under your chest too if that feels nice. That feels good for you. Yeah, I think I'll rest it under my chest. There we go. And arms lengthening forward. And if you want to take this a little bit easier, with less active arms, just relax the arms down. That's good for today. Let's focus on sinking the hips down and back. Relaxing our body into the mat, into the ground. Focusing on breathing, anchoring to the breath. And on the inhale, fill up as much as you can. And exhale, sigh it out and let it all go and relax your body. And now pushing up to a seated position. I had received a request to focus on ankles, and while it's very gentle, child's pose actually is a helpful pose for the ankles. It does stretch out the ankle and the top of the ankle. And this next one helps with the ankles too. We'll bring the knees together. And if you want, you can focus on sitting on your heels. If this is good for you, it feels good in your legs and in your ankles, that's great. You can stay here. If you want a little more of an intense stretch for the feet, you can shift forward, tuck toes. Right. And sit back on your heels. And this not only activates the ankles, but it also stretches out the bottoms of the feet as well, which can feel intense. So if this doesn't work for you, feel free to go back down, but this is also a great pose for keeping feet healthy. Feels really good. And coming back down. Let's move on to our back. I'm going to move the pillows out of the way. I'll move all the way back down into a reclined pose. And let's do a reclined pigeon. So take our right foot up to the sky, cross it over your left thigh, and clasping the hands behind your hamstring, you can keep your left foot lifted and pointed towards the sky, foot flat, as if you were standing on the ceiling. That's an option. If you want to bend your leg in, that's an option too. And if you want more of a stretch, and you feel like you can move your hands from your back of your hamstring to your shin. And I find that pulls it in a little bit more. And then relax and breathe into this pose. Try to focus on breathing into the right hip. And melt your back and shoulders onto the floor. And relax into the pose. Feel that right hip slowly opening. Such a feel-good pose. I love this pose. And then settling both feet back to the floor. Taking a moment to relax and align your body. And then let's do the same thing on the other side. So left leg up, crossing it over onto the top of your right thigh. You can either have hands behind the hamstring, foot elevated, foot more relaxed down, or if you want a more intense pose, you can put your hands over top of your shin. And it might be the case where one side of your body, you can put your hand on your shin like this and that feels okay. And the other side is more of a hamstring kind of side. That's okay. There's, bodies are not perfectly symmetrical, so deviances like that are normal. And relax your back down into the ground, the mat. And breathe into that hip. So good. So good for opening the hip. It's lovely. I love this pose. I hope you do too. Now we're going to put our feet back down to the mat and we're going to roll over onto our belly. Feet, tops of the feet flat on the ground. It's also a gentle ankle stretch, by the way. And then elbows under shoulders, hands flat against the mat, and lifting up, broadening across the chest into Sphinx pose. Enjoying the opening in the chest, the opening in the heart. Legs nice and strong, pushing into the ground. Hands active, arms active. And then lowering back down. And resting for a moment. And now pushing up to a seat. Let's then enjoy putting our legs up against the wall. Woohoo! That's a nice restful pose. I love this. So if you're sitting near a wall, I'd encourage you to bring your sitting bones up against the wall. I know this is funny. And legs up against the wall. And roll, put your hands upward, palms facing up, nice and relaxed. And the idea here is to relax into the pose. We don't want to be too grippy with our legs. We want to relax into the pose. Did you hear that? You may have heard that. That's my husband upstairs blowing his nose. I told you everyone around me has a cold. Yikes. That's why I'm down here in the basement hiding. Legs up against the wall. Breathing, relaxing, enjoying the pull of gravity on your legs. Pose is really great if you suffer from circulation issues in your legs. Maybe varicose veins, elevating your legs is great. Plus, this has the benefit of just being really relaxing. You may want to close your eyes if you want. That's great. I love closing my eyes when I do yoga. Honestly, I do. I find it the style that I like to do is a relaxing one, and closing one's eyes helps with that. Couple more breaths here. And then we'll bring our feet down, our legs down, roll over. And it's that time. Let's move into Shavasana. If you want, at this point, you can put the pillow under your knees, put a pillow under your head, and I'm going to treat myself to a blanket because it's that kind of day. All right. Okay. And this is the reward for a yoga practice, is Shavasana at the end. And we're going to focus on bringing the shoulders down away from the ears, palms up and relax, no gripping, relaxing the muscles in the face and the eyes. Focusing the relaxation down into your shoulders where we often hold tension. Across the chest, relaxing there, and down the arms, to the fingers. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing down the legs, all the way down to the feet. It's hard to want to get up, but I eventually have to end this class. You have other things to do. So with that, I'll encourage you to slowly roll to one side and take a moment here. And then slowly push up into seated position. Or if you want to stay in Shavasana, that's cool too. I'm not going to tell anybody. Thank you so much for joining me today in what I hope was a relaxing, comforting, and restorative practice. I hope to see you again next week. Thank you so much for joining me. Namaste.